Okay, we are in. Let me adjust the levels of the sound a little bit. Hello, hi. Okay, yeah, I think it's good enough. Good enough. Welcome to another stream. As you know, every week I open the door of my office to anyone who wants to join. While I work on something, I just talk out loud about some topic or just share what I have learned during the week. And today I'd like to spend some time working on the Abilities API and checking the repo, checking the latest updates, and just try that out because it's been some time since I haven't tried the specific implementation that has been enabled from the repo. This is something that will be most probably be part of WordPress 6.9, so I think it's a good time to check what we can do with this API. So yeah, let's go for it. We can go and check the repo. And we can start reading some things, and very quickly we will start testing the examples. But before we go into that, because it just came to my mind that very recently, for those of you that speak Spanish, I was invited to a Spanish podcast called Freelance Dev with Nawai and Esther, which are some really good WordPress developers in Spain. They are freelance and they have like several projects. And we had a very nice conversation about AI. And one of the cool things that came out from that conversation were these diagrams, which I'm going to, this one, for example, I'm going to share this one in the chat. Save to shareable link, copy link. I'm going to share this in the chat. Let's see if I'm able to do that. Yeah, done, share. And the other one is this gist, but I have another one in English, so let me check. This one. This is just like a nice summary of the state of AI. So you can have that as a reference. And as you can see, one of the building blocks of AI is the Abilities API that defines what abilities of actions WordPress can execute via AI. And in the diagram, we can see more or less what's the purpose of this API. So with the Abilities API, we can expose abilities of WordPress or plugins. For example, WordPress will be exposing some abilities, but we also, from our plugins, we will be able to also expose the specific features that our plugin provides in a way that AI will be able to directly apply that feature from the LLM. So from our plugin, we can register some abilities, and then with another, so these abilities on their own, they cannot do anything. I mean, LLMs cannot connect directly with your ability, we need an extra layer, which is the MCP adapter layer, which is in charge of taking the abilities registered and exposing them as tools for LLMs. So the combination of abilities registered and the MCP adapter, we will be able to expose any feature, any capability, anything that our WordPress can do. We will be able to expose that to LLMs. It can be what our plugin provides. It can be custom behavior we can develop using existing APIs. It can be a call to an external API. So yeah, there's a new world of possibilities open with this feature. And so yeah, with the MCP adapter, we will be able to expose tools, resources, and the elements of MCP, the MCP protocol, what it expects from there. So having said that, we can see here, well, this is not really updated. This is more or less, this is not accurate because I think it needs more properties. So let's go check directly the documentation. There's a work in progress. Jonathan just told me this morning that, let me see, yeah, that he's actually working on updating the docs. So this is something we should be aware of. This is the pull request he's working on. I think it's pretty ready to be merged. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like very advanced. So I'm going to share this. This would be a complement of what actually exists in the repository as the documentation. And what else do we have? And then there's an issue. An issue compiling all the, there's an issue compiling all the additions to this documentation. So yeah, if you spot something that is missing or something that is not clear, this is the place to add any request to the information on any update. So having said that, let's go and check the documentation. Well, this repository is connected to what are called AI building blocks. This is yeah, I'm going to share. If you're in the chat, you are going to be receiving a lot of links, but don't worry if you don't have time to check them now, because after every stream, I usually share all the resources that we have used during the stream. I share them in this repository where I compile all the details for each stream. So sharing this link as well. So anytime you can come here and check the streams, you will find links to the recording. You will find the diagrams that we have used during the stream, and yeah, anything that we have used and that can be can help with the following of the video. Nice. So I think that we have provided some context of the Abilities API. Any questions? Anybody? Okay. So let's continue. The handbook, I think it links to handbook projects Abilities API. Ah, interesting. I didn't know there was this AI handbook. This is really cool. This is really cool. Okay, so we have here the AI handbook. Yeah, this is for now. It's just an initial version of the handbook with information for contributing to the projects via code, explaining that there is a specific core AI contributor badge. This is interesting because it explains specifically the... Thank you, Alfredo. Well, Alfredo has a... Where's the... Can you share the link of your talk, Alfredo? I think he has a talk in... What did you say? Hi, Lucas. How you doing? Where are you from? Argentina? Are you from Buenos Aires? Alfredo, please share the link to your talk so we can add it to the conversation. Santa Fe. Nice, nice. Did you know that I lived in Buenos Aires for 1 year and a half? Punta Colgante, Laguna Setúbal. Nice, nice. That's in the north, right? Guatemala. Yeah, that was it. Okay, so this is the talk. If anyone is near, this is your way to go to get updated on what's going on. But also after that, this talk will be available from WordPress TV. So yeah, he's going to talk about the building blocks of the core AI group is currently working on, but also some tools like Telex. Have you tried Telex? Let's check. It's really cool. This is a tool to create custom blocks leveraging AI. So with a prompt, you can create a custom block. Yeah, Telex is great. Alfredo says it's awesome. I have well, I'm going to share this. Okay, Lucas says he has tested it. Have you created any blogs? You can share the links in the chat if you want. I created this one. I'm going to share also a link in the chat. I wrote about it because the experience was great. I don't know if you are familiar with mermaid diagrams. Mermaid diagrams is something like this. Mermaid diagrams. And we have an editor. Docs tutorial integrations. There was an online tool. I don't know if this one. But I don't remember needing... Well, I just wanted to show you some examples, but it's something like this, and you get diagrams like this. And it's something that if you work with ChatGPT or Claude Code, if you are talking about a specific topic, I like to ask for diagrams of the topics I'm discussing with LLM, and they usually provide those diagrams in this format, because this is like a markdown for diagrams. So as I have several notes using these diagrams, from time to time I like to share my learnings on my blog on juanma.codes. So yeah, I decided to create this blog using Telex, and I shared here my experience, and it was just, this is the conversation that I had. Create a blog that allows me to visualize mermaid diagrams on the front end, passing mermaid code on the block editor, blah, blah, blah. So it got me a really good enough blog for that. But then I fine-tuned the blog and I asked, okay, I want to see the preview also in the block editor. So yeah, it created this. This is the conversation and this is the blog. And it's great because you can have here the code and here what generates. And for me, it was like, it blew my mind. It was like, wow, this is something really useful, because then you can download the code and you can maybe fine tune the code if you want to distribute it. But yeah, it's a really good tool. Nice. Okay, so yeah, don't miss the talk that Alfredo is going to give tomorrow, or check that in WordPress from next week. So let's continue with the Abilities API. Okay, so the purpose of the Abilities API is to provide a common way for WordPress core plugins and themes to describe what they can do, abilities, in a machine-readable, human-friendly form. Okay. This is important because what we are doing is providing a description of the specific capabilities of WordPress in a way that LLMs will be able to use them directly. Okay, the scope of the Abilities API, this is also important, is the discovery, permissioning, it includes permissions, and execution, metadata only. Actual business logic stays inside the registering component. I don't really understand this. Actual business logic stays inside the registering component. I see, because let me see if there are some examples. Registering abilities. I guess it refers that the specific code is passed as a callback, as a function. So yeah, this just registers like the metadata of the ability, which includes things such as a label. This is the name of the tool that will be used by the LLM when we expose this ability via the MCP adapter. Okay. Then we have a description which will help the LLM to decide whether this is a good tool or not. Then we have a category. We need to check what's the goal of this property. Then we have input schema and output schema. This is important because we are like normalizing the data, and And here we can see the information required for the ability and the specific way the ability is going to return the information. And then we have execute callback, which is going to receive an input with the same schema that we have defined here. So input here is an object, type object, properties, array, additional properties, false. Okay, we need to check exactly what does it mean. Then we have a permission callback, which is important because we also, from the ability register, we provide a way to filter permissions and allow the user to execute that ability or not, depending on the permissions. This is, if I'm not wrong, this is the same than the REST API. So yeah, here we can apply like any logic, like for example, if user can, whatever. And then we have some meta property, which we need to find more about. Okay. The audience of the ability of the abilities API is plugin and theme authors, agency builders, and future AI automation tools. Okay. Design goals, discoverability. Every ability can be listed, queried, and inspected. For example, the MCP adapter will take the list of abilities and will expose those abilities to anyone that requires them. Interoperability. A uniform schema lets unrelated components compose workflows. This is super interesting. Let me see if I can find, there was a really good conversation about composability. Okay, let me see if I can do a compose. Workflows. Yeah, this is what I wanted to share. Okay, let me share this as well. I'm going to also share this by the chat. So this is a proposal, but I think this shows the possibilities of the abilities API. So this issue provides an overview of the elements that need to come together to unify admin commands, shortcuts, and AI-assisted workflows. This is an important idea, the idea of workflows. The overlap between these initiatives provides a good forcing function to think about the architecture underneath and the different shapes we need to construct. So what's important about this is that the abilities API is not only for LLMs, but it also describes capabilities that can be used, for example, as a command in the command palette, or we can connect like different abilities together. And this is the proposal of a new API. And this is I don't think there's nothing specific implemented, but it's a view of the future and it's connected with this idea of interoperability. So let's talk a bit more about this. Yeah, the basic proposal for a workflows API comes from the need for chaining commands together with user input along the way. So imagine you have several abilities and you connect them one after the other, and you compile them under a command. So with one command, you can execute like several abilities together. So the output of one command is connected to the output of one ability is connected to the input of another ability. You can chain different abilities and create a command. Chaining commands together with user input along the way. This has come up often in feedback around the command palette extensibility. Yeah, this is super powerful. Even simple triggers like create a page often need to incorporate steps, such as a modal with titles, fields for the user to interact with before going into the page editor, or the template creation flow, which exposes a grid of available theme template rows to start from. So yeah, this is some examples of how you can change like different actions, and these actions can be connected to a specific ability or not. You can connect it to some other things. We should think of workflows and abilities in a similar way to how we think of blocks and patterns. Well, I repeat, I think the abilities concept is tightly related to the workflows concept. Simple units that can be combined into bigger entities. Blocks put together can form a pattern, and multiple abilities can be composed into a workflow. Workflows are then chains of abilities, possibly requiring user interaction via form controls on the way to specify input or feed into the next ability. Yeah. So here's the conversation. Here's this is important to be taken into account. Okay, this is from yesterday. The initial plan was to move WordPress abilities from the AI team repo just before 6.9 beta 1 and ship it through the existing npm packages system to WordPress core. However, the priority is to land server-side changes first. Let's see if we can still wrap up PHP part early enough to include the client too. Either way, we should move the development to Gutenberg to simplify integration with the editor and the command palette. WordPress abilities. Okay, is this an npm package? Let me check that. Let me check this. No, it doesn't seem. Maybe this is a work in. Maybe this is a work. Well, maybe it refers to the repo. Yeah, from the A team repo and ship it through the existing npm packages system to WordPress core. Okay, these are implementation details that are not in the scope of today's session. Okay, interoperability. A uniform schema lets unrelated components compose workflows. This idea of workflow is like the future possibilities of the abilities API. And this is important because this explains why there's this separation of responsibilities. On one side, we have the responsibility of registering abilities, and on the other side, we have the responsibility of exposing those abilities as tools for the LLMs. In some other MCP servers, these two things are shipped together. There's no different layers, but WordPress, the WordPress team, the core AI team has decided to do this because it's more future proof. Because the abilities will be there, they can be connected to other things than an MCP server, and they can be connected to commands. They can be chained together with and form a final workflow, but also they can be exposed to the current protocol, which is MCP, Model Context Protocol. But the idea behind this is that maybe in the future there's another protocol, which is called MCX. I don't know. So with this architecture, the implementation becomes future-proof, because whatever the protocol appears in the future, the need to register specific capabilities is something that didn't exist before in WordPress, and this is like agnostic from the specific use we want to give to these abilities. Okay, let's continue. Security first. Explicit permissions determine who what may invoke an ability. We saw that here. There is a permission callback that is required, it's not optional. And then gradual adoption ships first as a composer package, migrates smoothly to core. Okay. And here we have, there are two repositories which may be confusing, because the first one that was created I think, okay, this repository will be deprecated as the Abilities API AI building block for WordPress continues releasing stable versions and becomes a core API in WordPress 6.9. Okay. We encourage users to migrate to Abilities API. This was the first repository that was created, but this just contains like the ideas and the specific the specifications. That was the word that I couldn't find. This contains the specifications and some tests, some initial drafts, but the work that is actually in progress and meant to be merged into core is this one, the WordPress /abilities-API. Okay, inspiration, WP feature API, command palette, and modern AI assistant protocols. MCP, A2A. What's A2A? Does anyone know? Agent-to-agent protocol, sometimes called announcing the agent-to-agent protocol. Yeah, this is from April. A new era of agent interoperability. Okay. Today we're launching a new open protocol called Agent-to-Agent with support and contribution forum. Okay. How does it work? We have a remote agent, we have a client agent, secure collaboration. Okay, I think this is related to the to the communication with remote agents. Right now, I think this is my understanding. When we see diagrams like this one, we're talking about client AI agents, which can be Claude Code, Cursor, Copilot, but there's also the idea of remote agents, which is this idea of, okay, you throw a command, you do a request, and then the agent works like maybe during the night to get you something, and and they can connect with other agents. So this standard, I think it's a standard to enable this communication. Okay, this is a real example. Candidate sourcing. Can we, let's increase this. Right click to be in a view tab. Open video in a new tab. Okay. So we ask here, I'm hiring, attach, can you help me fill the role? And so it starts. Okay, initiating agent protocol to discover agents capable of candidate sourcing based on available agents. Okay, so it asks. I see. So it's the communication with other agents, from our agent to other agents. What we are working now, this is like the way we can expose functionality to LLMs, to client agents. But then these AI agents, they can connect with other remote agents to do some other stuff. Okay, so current status, placeholder repository, spec draft created. I think the spec draft is here in WP feature API. Prototype plugin and composer package, community feedback created, code proposal in progress, initial created. Okay, how to get involved? Great. Let's go to the What's the Abilities API. Provides a standardized way to register and discover distinct units of functionality within a WordPress site. Let me see. Okay, we have time to try things, but I want to go as far as I can the documentation. These units called abilities represent specific actions or capabilities that components can perform with clearly defined inputs, outputs, and permissions. Okay. It acts as a central registry, making it easier for different parts of WordPress, third-party plugins, themes, and external systems like AI agents to understand and interact with the capabilities available on a specific site. Yeah, this is a very important idea. So core concepts. The ability is a distinct piece of functionality with a unique name, following the namespace ability name pattern. Where's an example? Yeah. Here. Namespace. This is the. I'm going to put this here. I'm going to open this here. Okay. Each ability has a human readable name and description, input, output definitions. So we have a name and a description, input and output, a category assignment, optional permissions. I don't think they are optional. I think they are required. So, well, optional permissions in the sense that we can return true, and it will be available for anyone. And as an associated callback function for execution, each registered ability is an instance of the WP ability class. Okay, let's dig a little bit into the code. And let's see where's the abilities API. Is this defined here? Yeah, here it is. Okay, so here's the class. So we have protected name, all the properties we use to register the specific. So each ability is an instance of this class, and the construct, the string name, and the arguments. And for each property, we need to properties as a property name, property value. These prepare properties should be another, yeah, this one. Okay, it checks that it contains the specific properties required. Then we have a function to get name, to get label, get description. So yeah, this is just registering a metadata, and we have once it's defined, we are able to validate the input, which is something it will be done automatically somewhere. A ver, let me check. Yeah, we check permissions, and yeah, when we check permissions, we check if it's valid, has permission. We check if do executes the ability callback, so it checks that we can actually execute the callback, and if we can, we do it. We have functions to validate the output, executes the ability after input validation, and running a permission check. Before returning the return value, it also validates the output. Yeah, so this is where everything gets together, and we do the execute. Yeah, do execute and validate, check permissions, and so on. Okay, nice. Each registered ability is an instance of this class that we have just checked. Okay, category, a way to organize related abilities. Each ability must belong to exactly one category. Categories have a slash label and description. Each registered category is an instance of a WP ability category class. Okay, let's check this. We are here, category. So each category is an instance of this class. Registry, a central singleton object that holds all registered abilities. It provides methods for registering, unregistering, finding, and querying abilities. Similarly, WP abilities category registry manages all registered categories. So if we come here, here abilities API, abilities registry. Maybe we can ask Copilot to okay, give me a list and brief explanation of methods available for instances of this class. Give me list of properties methods available for instances of this class. Okay, so the abilities registry cannot be extended. It's just an internal singleton registry for abilities. Properties, static self, register abilities, public methods, register. So we register an ability using this singleton instance, registers a new ability and returns the WP ability instance on success, validates the format of each ability. We can unregister, we can get all registered, we can see if it's registered, get registered. These are public methods, and then we have static methods like get the instance, returns the singleton instance. Okay, wake up. Okay, behavioral nodes, the class implemented as a singleton, so only one instance is created. Okay, nice. Okay, callback. The PHP function or method executed when an ability is called. Yeah, WP ability execute. Schema, JSON schema definitions for an ability expected input and its return output. This allows for validation and helps agents understand how to use the ability. Permission callback, an optional function that determines if the current user can execute a specific ability. Namespace, the first part of an ability name before the slash, typically matching the plugin or component that registers. Okay, goals and benefits, use cases, registration, example. So we can, okay, so first we can register a specific category using the action. Okay, these actions are documented somewhere. Let me see. If we go to docs, yeah, hooks. Okay, I'm going to include this new document, yeah, here. Okay, so we have abilities API categories in it. Fires when the category registry is first initialized. This is a proper hook to use when registering categories. So abilities API categories in it. Okay. And then abilities API init. And then we have abilities API init. Indicating started. I'm going to add some quick notes. So I think that in the hooks page, we need to also add the abilities API init. This is the getting started. So docs, getting started, yeah. So this is the WP plugin install, and we can install directly from here. Nice. With WPM from here. Is this, if we go to wordpress.org/plugins, do we have the abilities API? I don't know. Let's find out. abilities abilities API. This API, no, we don't have that, but in theory we can do this from WPM. So we can use it as a plugin. The easiest way to try and use the abilities API is to install it as a plugin by downloading the latest release from the GitHub releases page of this repository. Nice. Or as a dependency. Plugin authors and developers may wish to rely on the abilities API as a dependency in their own projects before it's merged into core. You can do that in one of the following ways. We can use the requires plugins, or we can use it as a composer dependency. We can also check availability with code. So when it's available, we can implement our code. So we can say, okay, if WP ability class exists, if it doesn't exist, we can add a specific notice that says this plugin requires the abilities API to use. Please install and activate it. And we can also check specific versions of the abilities API using the WP abilities API version here. If it's defined and if the version is whatever, we can also display a message. So basic usage example. The below example is for a plugin implementation, but it could also be adapted for a themes function PHP. So it's the callback that just return my blog name, like the name of my site. Then we have an action that we can hook into the abilities API init action, which is the right hook to hook the function that will register the ability. And then inside the function, we use WP register ability with a name and a specific array with specific properties such as label, description, input schema, output schema, execute, callback, permission callback, and meta. APIs, abilities, registering abilities, JavaScript client, registering categories, registering abilities. So the meta is an associative, this is optional, is an associative array for storing arbitrary additional metadata about the ability. Annotations, an associative array of annotations providing hints about the ability's behavior characteristics, supports the following keys. I think this is information for the LLM, because for example, if it's destructive, is something that the LLM wants to be informed about. So we can say if it's destructive or not, whether the ability may perform destructive updates to its environment. If true, the ability may perform any type of modification, including deletions or other destructive changes. This is also important, showing REST, whether to expose this ability via the REST API. I guess that if this is not true, we won't be able to call the ability via JavaScript. So I think this is something to be taken into account. Maybe we can confirm that in the docs, JavaScript client. Okay, the JavaScript client enables front-end code to interact with the abilities API system. It can discover all registered abilities. It can execute server-side PHP abilities. And it can register and execute client-side JavaScript abilities. That's an interesting idea. We can have server-side PHP abilities, and we can also register client-side JavaScript abilities. Okay, core API functions. Core API functions. We have Get abilities returns an array of all registered abilities, both server-side and client-side. And a register ability. Interesting. Is it follows the same format, but it uses a different function. Name, label, description, input schema, output schema. There should be callback, permission callback. Okay, so this provides a list of all the abilities. We can get a specific ability given a name. And this will return a specific object. We can check that later. Categories, we can get the ability category for a specific ability. We can execute a specific ability that will return something specific. Register ability registers a client-side ability that runs in the browser. But, okay, we can execute from JavaScript, and this is interesting. We can execute, let me think about this. From JavaScript, we can execute server-side PHP abilities, but also we can execute client-side abilities that are only available from JavaScript. Register and execute. So executes an ability with the provided input data. Okay, we can try this. So, okay, let's start trying things. What we can do, let's open Studio. And okay, let's come here. Okay, streams. I'm going to use this one. And what we can do is we can go to cursor. We can go to plugins. No, this is not. Yes, okay. So streams. Sorry, because I have another project for the streams info. So, okay, let's open this in cursor. Now we are in the streams project. So if we go to WP content plugins here, okay, I have here some plugins. So what we can do is to we can clone the abilities API repo here, and maybe we can create another plugin later for checking the. So with this is a plugin that is installed, and once it's enabled, we will have access to the API, to all the functions to register an ability. So with that, what we can do is we can with this API, and here well, let's take test stream abilities API, and also we are going to create a touch plugin PHP. So now we have the abilities API, which will provide us all the functions we need to register, to list, and to access the abilities. And then we have here our custom plugin that it does nothing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to plugin handbook. I think I only need the plugin name, but so yeah, header requirements. Yeah, we only need this. This is going to be, yeah, okay. Let's let the AI to do its work. So now if we go to our WordPress instance, plugins, we can activate abilities API. We can activate test streams abilities. Okay, what did we do wrong? Okay. Here. Okay. So now let's register some abilities. Get it started. Basic usage example. I'm going to copy this and to come here. Okay, so this code. This is the callback function for all ability, which is called my plugin gets site title. Okay, it's recommending to add this, but I don't think we need it for now. This would be a good practice, but let's stick to the example. Then we add a specific action abilities API in it, and with this function we register the specific ability, which is this one, get site title. We have this. Okay, so this is closing this one. This is closing this one. This is closing this one. Okay. And then we have the return true. Yeah, we don't need What's going on here? Let me see. I have this. I don't know, syntax error, unexpected token. Why? We have this. Okay. Yeah, this symbol. Yeah, can you tell that I come from JavaScript? Okay, so this seems to be right. Okay, and then later you can retrieve and execute the ability. And ability is the WP get ability. Ability not found. I see. So we should display this somewhere. But what we can do is we have here the backlog. Maybe we can also debug this. Okay, let's see what happens. If we go to our so I don't see the echo. But here okay, let me see. Are these errors new? No. The abilities properties must contain a category. So this example is wrong. And let's check the PR of Jonathan, because maybe that's the updated. So docs prepare. This is the PR. Let me see. Files changed. Okay, so these files have been removed, but now we have getting started and getting started file rename without changes, hooks, intro, PHP AMI, view file. Okay, so Okay, so the example, there was another example with a category, I think. Dogs. Okay, I'm going to add a note. Review examples. Review examples. I will create then issues, or I will tell this directly to Jonathan. Review examples to include categories as is a requirement. Okay. So now there was an example. With a category. Where was this? This one. In the intro, this is the example. Let's copy this and you can come here to our plugin. Yeah. So now we have a category and our ability has a category. And showing rest true. So we should be able to access this ability from JavaScript. So let's go to our WordPress installation. We're going to reload. And let's see. Okay, no errors. So what we can do is first try to let me see what was the PR. I have a lot of, let me close this because this is just like documentation pages. And I'm going to, okay, this is a good example. But then in docs, we have the JavaScript client, but let's also check this PR because this must be more updated. Here, there's JavaScript client, which we are going to use as a reference because this is the more updated. Okay, so import get abilities from WordPress abilities. Let's see if we have this available from the WP package first. So if we go to the console, WP. Not here, but maybe in the block editor here. So not here as well. So we need to create custom code. And we should be able to, let me think about this. Thanks, Juanma. I get a flight to catch, which, okay. Yeah, bye, Alfredo. Good luck with the talk. Stefan, Abilities API? Yes. We're talking about the Abilities API. We are reviewing the documentation and testing the API. This is a work in progress. So we are also taking into account the latest PRs open for the most updated documentation. Okay, so yeah, talking about the abilities API. If you want to follow, here we are. What else? So we have registered a category, we have registered an ability, and what we want to do is to check we're going to check the JavaScript API, which was, where was this? Here. So in order to do this, we need to create this JavaScript. We need to check this. We can create a block, or we can create a JavaScript with a build process, and we can load that in the block editor. In order to do that, we can create a JavaScript. Okay, let me see if we can do that. So our plugin, what we can do is we can define. Okay, let's go here and let's do npm init. This will create a package.json, and then what we can do is npm e WordPress scripts. So this will add the dependency, and then there was let me see, in the block editor. Here, block editor. The block editor. There was a reference guide, blocks API reference. No, how to guides, blogs. And queuing assets in the editor. Okay. So what we can do is in the editor, so maybe we can do this. We can do this in our code. We can enqueue script. We don't need a style. And abilities API editor scripts. And what I'm going to is build index. Yes. Okay. And then we have here JSON, and what we can do here is open an src folder with an index index.js folder, index.js file. No, we are going to open an index.js file inside here. And what I can do here is maybe copy and paste these examples. And then what I can do is, let me see if here. Okay. Nice. I can remove the PHP part for now, but so now we can do npm run build. Okay, so I don't know if this maybe this is not still, well, let me see, npm. No. Okay, so maybe this is not implemented yet. Let me do more digging. So packages client. This is the client. Okay, the client is currently available as part of the Composer package. When the Abilities API is installed, the client is automatically registered and in queue in the admin. In theory, I should be able to access this. But from where? Okay, so no idea. Or import get ability from WordPress abilities. WordPress abilities, let me see. The client. So is this one, but it hasn't been, okay, development and testing. No. Okay, let's do one thing. I have this here, and I have the package here, and I have this here. So maybe what I can do is to directly here get abilities from maybe I can do this, or no, I may need to go to open another one. So the thing is that I haven't found a way to make this work, and WP abilities is not working for me. So I have the plugin installed, but I don't have these WP abilities anywhere. Maybe it's not in the dashboard, not in the here in the yeah, it's not here as well. So let's move on. I'm going to try to to go to content, plugins, abilities API. There's a package JSON here. Let me see what this contains. The package JSON. Okay, so we can build the client from here. So let's do that. First, we need to install dependencies here. Then we will run the build. This will create, in theory, the npm run build, the build version of the package. If we come here to build, we have this here. In theory, we can then come back to our code and say abilities API. Yeah, this. So now if we come back here and if we do clear npm run build from our plugin, well, it seems it worked. So now in our plugin, if we and stores ability. So there's a store there already registered, but it's not available through WP. It's there, but maybe it's because I haven't queued this script. Okay, so it's here. I don't need this. I don't need to enqueue anything. So it was there. I don't know. Is there. So now here, what we can do is to I can enqueue. Okay, I can do this, and I can do this. So what I can do is I can enqueue the script, but I'm not going to use any build. So I'm going to remove this. I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to remove this and the packagation. Once I have checked this works as expected, I'm just going to remove it as well. So let's yeah, and the plugin should directly load index.js. Okay, let me see. Enqueue block editor assets. Okay, so this should work. Yeah. And here, okay, it's trying to load this, but it's not. Okay, so let me think about this thing. Okay, SRC. Okay. Let's put this here, move. I'm going to remove this and the package JSON. Yeah, let's remove it as well. Cannot use import mark. Okay, because this is const. Okay, await is only. So what we can do is const do something with abilities. We can wrap everything in a sync function. And then we can call do something with abilities. This is because we are using await, and await can only be used inside of an async function. So this should do the trick. This should do the trick. Okay. And yes. So plugin. We have this. If we go to source and we go to plugins, abilities API index. Yeah, here maybe content plugins. No, this is not. This one. Yeah. So, okay. My God. Oh my God. So, what's going on? We have here, okay, we're not interested in this. We are interested in this. And we have a function that, first of all, let's see if we are executing this console log. Hello, and also console log WP abilities. So this is working. This is working. And the abilities, get abilities. So we are not getting, this is working, but we are not getting any abilities from JS. And in theory, if we go to the documentation of the client, this should return all registered abilities. Let's go to Redux. We have hidden abilities. Store, nice. Yeah, there are no abilities here. So yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe the JavaScript API for abilities can only access the abilities registered via JavaScript. So there are no abilities here. And we have registered this one. So what I can do here, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to log something in the debug.log by using the server side. Let's see if by using the server side API, the PHP API, we are able to list the abilities. So docs, using abilities, so what we can do is site info ability here. My plugin site info. So what I can do is I'm going to for example, okay, but now if we go to the backlog, site info ability not found. So something is happening with the abilities not being registered properly. The ability properties must contain a valid execute callback function. Please refer to okay. Okay, so we need to execute callback. Okay, I think we are going well. The execute callback. My plugin gets site info. Because we haven't defined that okay. So what I can do is to create the function here. So function and this must okay. Make this function returns an array matching the output defined above. Okay, so we have site name string, site URL string, site name string, site URL string, active theme, so string, they are all strings. Okay. Okay. So it wasn't fine. It was okay. It was okay. And now if we go to our WordPress installation, let's see what happens. Yay, we found the ability. So no. Conclusion, from JavaScript, we have been able to access the specific ability. And also here, but now here we are not able, if we load, function was called, because maybe the name is not right. We have registered an ability called my plugin site info. And we are looking for my plugin get site info, which is not correct. But in JavaScript, we can try a few more things. There has been a critical error. Okay. Plugin site info and my plugin site info. Okay, because it's you know what, I'm going to call this get site info. So why it fails? Well, anyway, my plugin site info is the name of the ability, and this is where we get the ability. It's right. Okay, let's remove this. Add too few arguments to function. I think it's because we need to active plugins, PHP version, WordPress version. So permission callback, can I return just true? So I'm going to simplify this. And I'm going to simplify this. So that wasn't the issue. Too few arguments. Okay, so the input schema, it needs to have something. Maybe this is due to this cannot be empty. Let me see if here there's an updated example of PHP API. Be fine. This is the one I want. Now we come here. Okay. We return name, description, URL. Name, description, URL. Name, description, URL. So the input is an object with properties, additional properties false, and read-only destructive false. And we can check if maybe the JavaScript doesn't work because we need to set this meta property of REST API, but let's try this first to see if we can avoid the PHP error. Okay. Okay, and the category is not registered because the category we have registered is this one. Ability, my plugin site, plugin get site info. And this one is my plugin get site info. So let's yay! No, yay no. It's an error object because my plugin get site info has invalid input. Maybe this is it. Yeah, that was it. We have streams, description, URL, and I think we don't have a description, but if we add here a description to settings general, tagline, okay, this is a demo description, just for test. We save. Okay, this is the description, nice, but JavaScript cannot access the ability because if we go to network fetch and we because we have this filter. Yeah, let's ability. So we have asked for the abilities in this API, but we haven't got anything. So let's check the JSON. Oh, okay. It's here, but maybe, I don't know. So it's exposed, but JavaScript cannot access, doesn't have access to it, I guess because of the REST API. So let's check that. We can go and see in the documentation. Here in intro, no, REST API. This is the one we want. Let's read more about this. Be fine. Okay, the WordPress Abilities API provides REST endpoints. Access to all Abilities REST API endpoints requires an authenticated user. Access to execute individual abilities is restricted based on the permission callback of the ability. In our case, we don't have any restriction here. Controlling REST API exposure. By default, registered abilities are not exposed via the REST API. Registered abilities. So what? Okay. So what do we have is the common REST API endpoints, but the specific endpoint for the specific ability is not registered unless we do showing REST true. So the ability is listed in REST API responses and can be executed via REST endpoints. I get it. So we need to showing REST true. Showing REST true. And now if we go to our WordPress site, and we go to console, now we can see the ability. If we go to network, we can see that the specific ability is there. And if we go to the JSON, no, site info. Okay, let's go to abilities. Abilities. No, we cannot access this directly. We cannot access because we need, what do we need? These are the response headers. We need a, what do we need? Okay, I need a nonce. And a cookie. These headers. But there's no cookie here. There's no cookie here. But if I go to streams WP local, Okay. Okay, so yeah, let's summarize a little bit what we have done today. And from there, maybe we can try to finish the session executing the abilities API. So what we've been able to do is to register an ability, to execute that ability from PHP, as we can see here, to also check the registered abilities from JavaScript. And now what we could do maybe, what we could try to do is to execute the ability via executability. Okay, let's try this. If we go to our JavaScript, here we have the abilities. So the number of my ability is my plugin get site info. Okay, so executability. Here we have name, description, URL. Yeah. I don't have this ability, so I'm not going to do this. Execute ability is not defined because we need to also structure that function from input is not of type object, okay, because execute ability an empty array maybe. So executability, let's check. Yeah, the second parameter is the input of the function. So yeah, let's try this again. Input is not it's an object, because if we go to the input schema type object, yeah, so we need to pass an object even if it's empty. Okay, let's go again. Input is not of type object. Input is not of type object, but here we are passing an empty object. My plugin gets site info. We are defining type object without any properties, so it's empty. So in theory, it should work. Execute ability. Okay, let's dig go to the repo. We can come here and see. Let's look for the error. Has invalid input. Ability has invalid input. So this is validate value from schema. Input, ability, input, schema. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know exactly how this translates to. So we can, if it's empty, it doesn't work. An object, empty object should work. Because in plugin, in PHP, what we are passing is an array, but here passing an array is not working. Passing an array is not working. And let's check the okay, now we are stuck here because somehow we are not able to pass the required input data. Get site title. And here we have this. Okay, maybe if we go to the Redux, we have here if we go to the abilities, and yeah, because I have a lot of pages open. Okay, this is the abilities by name. Input schema. Properties. So if properties is an empty array, what I can do maybe is to, I don't know, null. Because if it doesn't accept an object, it doesn't accept like an empty object. It doesn't accept an empty. Okay, let's check something. I'm going to comment this. So what if I just input the schema can be null, maybe, and here this can be null. Let's see. No. Why? Because it seems that return value must be of type array. So array empty. And if we encode argument, too few arguments to function. So no, this was, yeah, the input thing I'm not This in theory is the way to pass an empty object, empty array. So now it should work on the server side, but on the JavaScript side, we are not really able to execute this because we don't know exactly ability invalid input data. Reason input is not of type object, but if we from JavaScript we execute ability and we pass an object, it doesn't work either. So I don't know exactly what's going on. Input is not of type object. Is this something that is, maybe there's an issue open? Let's check. Closed. Okay, I'm stuck here because the thing that is happening is that we have the ability register. We are able to execute it from PHP, from JavaScript. We can access the ability, but we cannot execute it because the input schema is this one. In theory, it's just an empty array. At least this is the way we are executing this from PHP, but from JavaScript, okay, I don't know. I'm completely blocked here. What we can do is to maybe go to here. We can see if we can access this ability from the LLM. So the last thing we are going to do is check the MCP adapter. In WordPress, if we go to MCP adapter, we have this one. So I can clone this repository here. I can here plugins, git clone MCP adapter. Then we can go to our WordPress installation. We can activate the plugin. The composer autoloader was not found. Okay, we need to run composer install. MCP adapter, composer install. Okay, that's a nice error message. So we have the server that in theory is already exposing the abilities API. Now what we can do is in the client, In the client we need to install the MCP client. In order to do that, where those okay, had here a gist. If we go to gists and we check this, MCP. This is the client. In cursor. Okay, so in cursor, how do we add MCP? Open MCP settings. And new MCP server. Okay. And in our case, my site is this one. Okay, so it's connected. Can I check the tools? No tools, prompts, or resources. So nothing is happening. There should be at least one tool. I don't know if I need to do anything else. I think it's automatic. I don't think I need to pass anything else because I'm not using any private information. So this setting should be enough. This should be enough. Okay, let's reload. Tools, there should be at least one tool shared by this. Last check, and with this I'm going to finish the session. Here Jonathan Bossinger did a workshop. The client, yeah, this is the Okay, this is for, okay. No, this is right. Args, name, type, command, mpx, args, the same. And the m. WP API URL is this one, so yeah, it's not working. Maybe I can check here the back console output MCP. Validation fail. Oh, so I need. Okay, so let's create the. Let's create this. API URL, and then API username admin, and if I go to my local settings, password, fetch failed. I'm going to reload window. So no, fetch failed. Fetch failed. Yeah, okay. I don't know. This is failing, but we are close. There should be something. There should be something we need to take into account. But yeah, this is a work in progress. I'm not sure. But we are this close to get our ability connected to the MCP. There's a fetch fail. Is there? You know what? I'm going to take this. No, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to go to the repository, which is this one, the MCP. I'm going to say, I get this error from cursor. Let's see. Let's see what happens. I know, because, okay, it should be an application password. It's not a password, it's an application password. So if I come here, I create a test MCP, add application password, I copy this, then I come here, and this is my application password. And now if I reload, it's the same error, 3. Is this MCP? Yeah, it's this one. And in my debug log, am I getting something? No, there's no error here. I don't know, because I don't know. The fetch failed. And do I need to add this one? So if we go to here,
it's easy to expose it and activate the plugin, and it has been stopped. Service. So you're going to have to change yours to service for now. Service.
okay, we are fine with that because it should be fine.
In VS Code, they just use the word service. The only difference, you don't need the OAuth enabled, little start button that comes up.
We need to add this. So if we go here, we need to MCP. WP-JSON. AI experiments. MCP adapter. Do we need to create a?
And you will see that
We need to create a. We need to create a server. Okay, so let me. MCP adapter init. That was the missing part. So if we go to MCP adapter, if we look for MCP adapter init, Mm. So we come here. And
It's a plugin under basic usage. And the name support is good. Anything in WordPress, it's good. I think about how the abilities. I'm going to long, but I want to go through the code with you all. So I'm going to create callbacks. I might say it's a callback for the P regularity, but a labels.
we have already registered the ability.
Very descriptive, but because the type has a right down here, the code example, messenger.com/WCUS2025. So it's data back. And so I did rolling standard version, art, and a figure and admin, so I turn an array with the site man. I will back.
Okay, so if I do this, and if we go to our WordPress installation here, there are no errors. But then we should be able to WPation AI experiments, WPation we should see my namespace. Okay. My namespace. Fine with that. And if we come here, we just say WPation, my namespace, MCP. MCP.
Then you give it your username and password. I'm going to do this locally. Somebody was in a workshop yesterday and said, don't use admin for your username.
Okay, this is as far as I can get. Okay, so my namespace, this is working, and I have the MCP, so this is fine. Okay. We are getting closer. My plugin, my ability. No. This is my plugin. Get site info. My plugin. Get site info. So I think we are pretty close having this working. Posts. Hello world. Okay, fine with that. But if we go to cursor, and if we reload, no. don't need this. So there are no errors. The MCP server here is running. At least we have the right URL. The namespace is created. I don't think we need anything else here. Unique server identifier, that's fine. My namespace, server recipe root, my namespace MCP, blah blah blah. Transport method REST. My plugin gets site info. And this is the ability we have created here. My plugin gets site info. Abilities to expose as tools. So in theory, we should have here found one tool, but we are not getting that because of we don't know why. We don't know why. So
running a number of tools. And then I think I might know what the problem is.
I like that. Log file. So we can add here a log file. So I'm going to say log file. Okay, what I'm going to do is this one. Copy path. MCP the backlog. Yeah.
Who else is getting an error? The locally signed SSL cert. So all you have to do is just turn it off basically. So you copy this node.
Node. Okay, troubleshooting. We have a troubleshooting section. Oh my god. Docs. Troubleshooting. Common issues. Yeah, I'm there. So we need to go to the client. MCP. Okay. MCP WordPress remote is MCP. This is MCP hyphen WordPress remote. Yeah. And here we have a docs. Here we have a troubleshooting. And here we need to add this. And we're going to add this.
TLS reject on all.
Okay. 0.
You got anybody else working? Open up your GitHub Copilot while I'm walking around helping you. Okay.
Nice, nice, nice. Okay, we are getting closer. Where's my MCP log? So fetch failed. So if we go to users, we go to admin, we have our MCP, but I'm going to revoke it. Okay, test2, copy, and MCP JSON. So, sorry, you are not allowed to do that. So WP API URL, WP API username, WP API password, admin, HTTPS streams, WP local, WP JSON, AI experiments, space, MCP, Okay, so the fetch failed. What I can do is maybe I can stop the site. It shouldn't be necessary, but just checking my options. Streams. And then here I'm going to clear the output. Reload window, and also here MCP. I don't have more errors here. In the backlog, I don't have errors.
Open up your GitHub Copilot and see what list by now, but I should actually add it into resources. If I that's a t-shirt right there. So plugin is, but it just gets the list of active plugins. Then there's my favorite.
AI experiments MCP. Okay, let's check the code to see if something. Server ID. MCP, my MCP server. My plugin said get site info. This is the one that I'm registering. So yeah, I don't know exactly. And the MCP. Okay. I am blocked. I don't know how to continue. Theory, this should work. We have this. Okay, let's remove this. Okay, it's failing for some reason, and the MCP log. The MCP log is not. It's not MCP log. It's MCP debugging. Here I have the information. Okay, maybe there is some change. I don't know. I need to review this. But yeah, we have been able to go far. We have been able to register the ability. Okay, what have we done? We have been able to register a category, register an ability. We have been able also to create a server, an MCP server that exposes the specific ability, although we haven't been able to detect that from cursor. Also from PHP, we have done a quick test of executing the specific ability. And from JavaScript, we have confirmed that we have access to the abilities register via PHP, although we haven't been able to execute that ability from JavaScript. But I think on the ability side, there's still some work to do. There's still some documentation updates. So yeah, it's a work in progress, but yeah, there are a lot of things that we can do. And by the time of the WordPress 6.9 release, I think that we will have all these things more consolidated, and we will be able to start applying them to our plugins. Okay, so this is all for today. Hope you have a great weekend, and see you next week. As you know, I do streams one week in English, another week in Spanish. The streams are all codes will be, well, they are all available here in my YouTube channel, which is Juanma Codes, and then in this repo, I have compiled all the info for all the streams. These are the streams related to WordPress development and with a specific view of the JavaScript side. So yeah, join me next time if you want to help me and to view how do I get stuck in things. Okay, thank you, Lucas. We weren't able to finally connect the ability to the LLM, but I think we are pretty close. There's something a little detail that we have been missing, but yeah, we are almost there. So yeah, have a great weekend and see you any other week. Okay, bye.